My second slide is my introductory slide, so this is just what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to point you at that first. Figured it was a technology conference, so we'll try to push the envelope with technology. I see Prezi online didn't work very well for the previous presenter, so I'm glad I brought the standalone version with me. So we'll see how it takes us through here. So what I'm talking about today is sort of a bigger picture thing, not a specific target or a specific task, but what I'm going to talk about is our fresh community of practice. We came up with the term fresh because we thought it was something new and exciting. So Farm and Ranch, E-Extension, and Safety and Health is the name of our community of practice, and I'm going to go through a little bit of the different aspects that we just saw, and throughout the development and other parts of some innovative things that we think are innovative that we've been doing to engage different stakeholders than we typically dealt with. Backing up half a step here, my name's Yoder. I've been at the University of Nebraska Medical Center for less than a year now. Previously, I was at Penn State University, working with the Agricultural and Biological Engineering Department there and some of their extension programming in agricultural safety and health. And previous to that, I was at Purdue University. So now I have 3 of the Big Ten schools taken care of. I just have, 9 more to go. So 30 more years of working, 3 schools a year. I should be able to get that done, right? It's a goal anyway, I guess. Maybe half of them, I don't know. So our fresh community of practice, we've been around for about 3 years now, maybe just a little under 3 years. We have roughly 100 experts or 100 members of our community of practice right now. We have a leadership team of about 10 that I chair or lead that group. We have people from universities, as you would expect, but we also have some government agency people in our group, as well as some private industry people, which we'll talk about a little later on with some of our newer projects throughout that. So we're trying to, and E-Extension in our community of practice has helped us draw some people into the community that we may not have traditionally had from an extension perspective, helping us out that way. And what our goal is to provide information for, one, the general public, because we're out on the web, ag producers and specific producer groups that we've talked about, and then other ag safety and health professionals go here and look for information, or other ag professionals that are looking for safety and health information. So, and the list could go on and on, but those are some of the major groups that we see engagement with. So just to go back around what we're going to talk about within this group is, you can see around the table here, we have the development of the COP, some of the networking we do, maybe some of the support and how we support the COP financially and in kind ways, how we do some marketing with our COP, and then probably maybe the thing that pulled people in were the apps development that we've been doing through this COP, and talk a little bit about that in a little more detail. And feel free to ask questions as we go along, so if you have any questions or if there's anything specific you want to know, we can do that. So development. Does anybody know what NCRA 197 means other than Linda? Is anybody part of an extension multi-state committee or heard of an extension multi-state committee? They say they're the best kept secret. I don't know why they're keeping them secrets. But these are committees that extension has had around for longer than I've been around probably, that they focus on a specific topic, similar to a community of practice. So we have a multi-state committee. They used to be regional, now they have a national scope, and NCRA stands for North Central, and I forget the rest of it. So it started in the North Central region and the acronyms keep changing as the alphabet soup changes. But so this multi-state committee really focuses on developing a plan for the land grant system to do something around a topic. And the topic of this group is agricultural safety and health at land grant institutions. So in this group, they came up with, I think it was about 10 or 15 years ago, an agenda for ag safety and health and what land grants should be doing related to ag safety and health. And some of their goals were things like increase the infrastructure, look at special populations or different populations, which we started focusing on new and beginning farmers. And then that led to the birth of our extension.org/ag-safety. So a large portion of our leadership team for our community practice came from that multi-state committee. So it really started inside of Extension, but now we're growing outside of the traditional Extension networks with that. We started off financially by having a community practice development grant from eExtension or from extension.org to get us rolling, to help provide some time, some leadership people, and some staff people to really focus some effort for this. And we'll see other support here in a minute. And then just wanted to mention some of the networking we do through this. And at a technology conference, you say networking, and everybody thinks of these things. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people. And fortunately, we had a group, the NCRA 197 group. We already had networks formed. We already had national organizations. We have International Society of Ag Safety and Health, which previously known as National Institute for Farm Safety. So we had networks of professionals already out there. We're just taking them to a different platform, like was mentioned in the keynote this morning. How can we utilize a different platform, and what platform do we need to use to engage these people? So our networks were really already there. We just needed to push them into a different platform. Sometimes handcuff them and pull them into a new platform. But we're getting them there. As far as how we support our community practice, we feel it's to be successful, and for us to be successful anyway, we really needed at least one dedicated staff person, at least half of a person, half time. Linda's sitting back here. She probably spends time and a half on it. But that really helps keep everybody in the community of practice motivated. If we do it as part of another job and other things like that, or on a volunteer basis, it's really hard to keep people motivated and keep people on task. And Linda does a great job for that. But we need to figure out how to pay Linda and to keep her doing this stuff for us. So I put up 3 different types of support that we use for that. We have the public grants. We think of USDA and NIFA for most of that. Put some more alphabet soup on the bottom there, but we have our youth farm safety and education certification grants that come out every couple years that we use for that. And I had 1 or 2 of these projects where the outcomes or the outputs of those grants turned into material we could use inside of eExtension. This most recent round of AgrAbility, has anybody heard of AgrAbility? No, there's 2 people, several people in the room. All right. So this most recent round of AgrAbility, we were able to get, or USDA likes to put the wording that the material developed from this grant needs to be disseminated through eExtension. Maybe they don't do it quite that forcefully, but some people interpret it one way or another, and it helps our community of practice because they start engaging with us when they're developing the grants for these, which in turn means we can get some support out of those. And then some of the continuation funds from eExtension. I skipped over SAY, and SAY was a pretty neat project. It was a USDA grant started project. It helped us build more networks. What it did was provide more of Linda's time to help us work on this. But the goal of it was to collect information that we'll use and disseminate through eExtension and turn eExtension into a clearinghouse for agricultural safety and health information. So we got that written into the grant. We got money through the grant to support our staff. And you can see some of the universities involved with that. One of the cool things, though, is it pulled in a private partner, CareerSafe. CareerSafe is a company that does OSHA online training, and they were interested in getting into agriculture. They do general industry safety training. So they actually found out about this grant and started reaching out to other ag safety professionals. We ended up writing a proposal that had those in it. So now we're starting to pull some private industry into it. And one of the cooler things is they're not taking any money from the grant because they see revenue later on from some of their online training and that sort of thing. So we're figuring out how we can mesh that with some of the eExtension networks. Make sure I'm on. Speed up. So this just describes the project, but in a nutshell, what we're doing is comparing a lot of the safety and health curriculum that are already out there comparing that to some of the Common Core standards that are used by agricultural educators, technical educators, and that sort of thing. So we can say this Ag Safety and Health package meets these core standards, and which in turn encourages the educators to use it in their classrooms. And there are many different aspects to that. University of Kentucky is working on some virtual stuff. You probably saw Luann's goggles over in the corner last night, if you were here for that session. So she's working on some ag safety virtual learning stuff as part of this grant, at least pilot testing it. We have a group at Ohio State that's looking at matching up those standards, a group at Penn State that's trying to identify materials for them, and various other parts of the project. And if you want to, you can see from this page, there's a whole page about this project on e-extension. So when we wrote news releases about this project, and all the universities wrote a news release, they directed everybody to this page, which brought everybody into e-extension. So the grant announcement and the grant award announcement and all that stuff was a way to advertise our community of practice. And that probably got us more traffic than maybe anything else that we've done so far. And you can see some of the other parts